to make the top 4. It's also a deck that has, been creeping up a little bit here in Standard. Not entirely sure how good the deck is, but I know that Andrew Shrout did have a nice weekend and won an IQ with this deck, and it's kind of taken off from there. And it's a deck that just accelerates and draws a bunch of cards with Prime Speaker Zagana, and then has, some clones in it, apparently.
Yeah,
and it has Avacyn's Pilgrim, too.
It has some very aggressive draws and very powerful draws, but I do feel like it's a little bit of a dog against Junk. But to be fair, it's in a good matchup against Jund this round with Gerald Orrison. All right, so Mark did go to 6 for everyone out there, and Gerald is at 5. So it's going to be a tough road for Gerald, especially since Mark's deck is designed to just get more and more card advantage.
Yeah, that's the entire idea behind Prime Speaker Band. It can just draw a bunch of cards, put out some good threats, and then draw some more cards. And you see he's undoing his mulligan pretty quickly here by starting with the Mana Accelerant and then Far Seeking. So looks like Mana's online, and for Gerald, because he did start on 5, he's going to have to... Far Seek would be a good start for him the next turn, but just hit land drops, be able to kill some things, and maybe find Olivia to start taking this game over.
Yeah, well, all we have to do is see if Mark is going to have that turn 3 Garrick that the deck is designed to be able to do. We do see a Township, but that doesn't mean much because a Temple or a Breeding Pool could be in his hand, hoping to draw Sun Petal Grove to not take any shock and save his life total instead of having to go down to 16 right away. So the Township usually means there's no lands left, but not when you're dealing with so many shocks in a deck.
And so we are going to see a Farseek here from Gerald. So he is undoing his mulligan a little bit there. You'd see his hand. He has a Forest. He has a Garrick Primal Hunter. He has a Liliana the Veil as well.
Liliana, yes. And Liliana will be good as long... All right, so we not can see Garrick, but I'm pretty sure Big Daddy Thragtusk is dropping. Ooh. And that is a card that beats Liliana.
Yeah. So Thragtusk is here. Mark's going to gain 5 life. He's going to go 23, and he's just going to pass the turn back.
With a Farseek and a Restoration Angel in hand, that's going to be able to do some amazing things with that Thragtusk.
It's actually going to be 21, not 23, as he did have to play that Hollow Fountain untapped. Liliana's going to make Mark sacrifice a permanent. Happy to sacrifice that Avacyn's Pilgrim. Thragtusk will take down the Liliana. He's going to play a Forest. We'll see if he has a follow-up. He can Restoration Angel in the main phase. We're trying to get a little tricky, but I like just doing it right now. No need for any shenanigans.
The only thing you're opening yourself up to do is get things killed. It's not like Gerald's going to go and play some hasty ground pounder.
So you see Gerald is going to draw a card, draws an Overgrown Tomb. You see a Fistful of Lands here, plays the Overgrown Tomb, decides to play Rootbound Crag into the Garrick Primal Hunter, and it looks like he's going to make a Beast token and move it on back.
So if you're in Gerald's position, well, I guess that Township screws it all up. I was thinking about like blocking the Thragtusk, hoping to bonfire him, but Township just is going to seal this deal. He's actually just going to be able to race bonfire for the rest of the game as long as he activates that Township. That should be good enough.
Yeah, which is a strange thing to say, being able to race up a bonfire, but you're going to see Restoration Angel take down the Garrett. Thragtusk and the Beast token are coming straight towards Gerald, and the blocks here do not look very good as he's going to throw Brad Nelson token. You died.
Did I?
You died to a Thragtusk.
I didn't even see that I was in play.
You were there and then you died. That's how
no.
You had a quick run, a good run.
So it's okay.
As we're going to see Olivia Valdera. Now, this is a card that can threaten to actually take this game over if he has enough time, but I don't think that Gerald is going to.
Yeah, he's going to have to put this under the bus. Or under the tusk.
C-. And I'm being nice.
Oh, you're being really
with
generous
a C-,
with that, yeah.
As here come all the attackers. A Township activation is being threatened here. And Olivia, as much as would like to take over this game, and that's what it normally does against the Bant deck, he's already underneath far too much pressure. Yeah. And he is going to have to jump in front of the Angel. Thank God not the...
Just the big one.
Okay, fine. The Tusk it is, so I have to make the bad pun. And you are going to see a shot here.
And yeah, he's gonna shoot off that Tusk and then take it down in combat.
So we will see some things exchanged.
What is he following up without? I do not like 4-5. Like, yeah, I don't like not pumping there for the fact that I want to race these bonfires. What are you going to lose to?
Maybe Mark drew Prime Speaker for the turn?
He would have played that main phase 1, right? I guess maybe he wanted to because he wanted to threaten it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's your Prime Speaker. So it is going to get a bunch of counters. And it's going to draw a bunch of cards.
All right, so there's 5 cards. So even if there is a bonfire, we still have like a fistful of cards.
Yeah. So Prime Speaker Zagana is going to refill the hand. Temple Guard will come into play tapped, and Mark passes the turn back.
So when you draw 7 cards with Prime Speaker, do you get the opportunity to mulligan?
You know you don't.
You don't?
You know, only when you restart the game with Karn do you actually get the opportunity to mulligan. And for some unbeknownst reason, when you restart the game with Karn, not only do you get like the permanents back into play, but like they have haste, so you just get to start attacking in the first turn too. None of it really makes any sense to me, but that's why Karn is my favorite Magic card.
Oh yeah, Karn's amazing. I actually was playing against Jerry in a playtest video ways back, and I ultimated Karn with Karn underneath it.
Ah, yes.
And I was just having fun, and he's like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm not going to play this out, because we made a rule. It's like, lethal has to be dealt, and then I'm manipulating that rule.
Okay.
Because sometimes we would like, oh, I combo you, and then we just conceded. People are like, but I don't understand the combo, right?
Sure.
It's like, okay, we have to just do everything. And so he doesn't, so then I go get Evan to finish out, and I'm like, Evan, would you like to mulligan? He just sees Karn and like a land in play. He's like, nope, you got to play.
No, I'm good.
I'm having fun.
I'm happy to keep. So Gerald, first and foremost, is going to want to try to keep a 7-carder instead of mulligan down to 5, but taking a look at his sideboard really quickly here. 2 copies of Thundermaw Hellkite, 2 copies of Bonfire the Damned. You know, normally, we see Jund decks that are drawing to maybe 4 Bonfires. He only has 2 in his main deck and then 2 in his sideboard. You see an additional copy of Tragic Slip, a Duress, an Appetite for Brains, 2 Slaughter Games, 2 Acidic Slimes, a Rakdos Return, a Staff of Men and Underworld Connections, and a Deathrite Shaman. The reason I list all of those cards, Brad, is because with the Jund deck, you normally see a very diversified sideboard and what it's trying to accomplish, and you see that here as well. On what what do you want to sideboard in when you're playing? It's a Prime Speaker BAM deck.
Appetite for Brains is one of the best cards in these mid-range matchups. So, like, that's for sure going to be coming in. I like the Bonfires and the Rakdos Return. Thundermaw's okay, but it's still, like, is a little underwhelming to me. But there are a lot of, like, cards that you can get rid of. Like, Liliana, I don't think is that great in this matchup.
I don't think so either.
And so you want to get those out of the deck. You want those Deathrites to be sideboarded out as well. And at that point, yeah, you do need stuff. Also, Abrupt Decay is bad. So I think maybe Slaughter Games comes in, or Acidic Slime. Like, Slaughter Games, just to take the draw engine, is still very important. Because Rakdos Return and Bonfire are very good at cleaning up Planeswalkers.
Okay.
So I think I would see that. But you don't want any of the soul cards, like Staff of Nin, Underworld Connections. Potentially the Thundermaws could just be the beater as well, but I don't think you are the aggressor, and if you play this matchup as Jund as the aggressor, you're going to get like steamrolled in the late game. Just investing your resources into damage, because the deck is just very power slows. Especially, he's not expecting the clones, and those clones I think can do some amazing things. So you just want to deal with all their resources with Bonfires and Rakdos Returns and Appetite for Brains before you take over the game with a card like Olivia.
Okay. And taking a look at Mark's sideboard here, he has 2 copies of Selesnya Charm, 2 Acidic Slimes, which is a card that we will talk about momentarily here, 3 Memories, Memories Verdict?
I think it should be Memories Journey.
Yeah, I think that's Memories Journey. 2 copies of Tristani, a Rot's Faith Manor, 3 Centaur Healers, and 2 Supreme Verdict. So, and no cards that really jump out here as cards that are meant to be, for the Jund matchup in particular.
Well, I think this is just your best matchup, right?
Yeah. I think, if you're Mark, you're probably pretty happy playing against this deck, as, he does have efficient threats, he does have Thragtusk, and he has Prime Speaker to kind of refuel and present a threat, so it's playing a dual role there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't think you need to bring in that much. The Selesnya Charms are definitely amazing here. Just making sure Olivia does not do anything.
Yeah, and I think that's certainly a big deal as well. Yeah, just the card for Mark that he's most scared of is, as you said, Olivia. In that last game we saw, Gerald did take a mulligan down to 5 and was just a little bit slow getting to Olivia. Yeah. But if he's able to get Olivia early, that's the card that can just take over the game. It's a card that Mark really doesn't have much of an answer for. As we see, both players have kept their 7 cards. And Gerald just has a couple of lands to start here, as Mark does have an Arbor Elf, and we'll see what he's looking to do here on turn 2, which is give the beats.
Give the beats. Hopefully there's not a follow-up Elf. If there is a follow-up Elf, I think there's a Bonfire waiting for him. And because he didn't do anything, yeah, I like this Bonfire for 1. Make sure Mark isn't casting his spells. You need to go 1-for-1 on mana resource to stay ahead in this matchup for Gerald.
Yeah, Bonfire is a card that you don't normally see people 1-for-1 with, but you can't be too proud to just 1-for-1. So you stay ahead and you do keep the initiative. So your cards like Huntmaster and Thragtusk are actually still good.
Ooh, and he missed a land drop and had to pass, and that is never a good feeling.
Oh, Mark missed a land drop as well. He doesn't have Avacyn's Pilgrim, and now we see a Blood Crypt off the top, and here's Huntmaster that fell, so turn it around. So big draw there from Gerald.
Yeah. So depending on what's in Mark's hand.
Attention players, if you signed up for $10 draft number 3,
and it's all now we're online. We hit our 5th land. A stream of Thragtusk can come down if he has them.
Additionally,
How do you feel about Gerald using that Brian and Kibler token instead of a Brad Nelson one for a Wolf?
I do that too.
About 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay. Right now.
All right, so he's, oh wow, he's just passing and letting that flip.
Smells like a Restoration Angel to me.
Yeah.
I still got it.
Still got it?
After all these years.
But he didn't
sniff that Restoration Angel out.
All right, that does deal 2 damage to Mark, though. Restoration cannot protect from that. And here comes Huntmaster. For everything, even though I'd want to like double block there, it's just you just can't do that against Jund.
No, I don't think you can. The bad certainly outweigh the good. So after the Fells is going to deal Mark 4 points of damage, and now Gerald, you know, he has a couple different cards in his hand. He has Olivia, he has Huntmaster the Fells, but he's going to go with Thragtusk, gain 5 life, put a 5/3 on the board, and further his board presence. As Mark is going to draw, and it looks like an Angel Serenity, but he is a long, I wouldn't say a long way, but he's got a little ways to go before he can get to that point. And so he's going to play a Thragtusk of his own. So now we're getting into the mid-rangey portion of our standard tournament.
And welcome to Draw Go. Well, we do have a Prime Speaker Zagana in Mark's hand, and we have 3 bonfires in there somewhere on Gerald's side.
What does he draw? He draws a Farseek.
Not a land that he would have wanted. It would have been great to hit a land just to play that Olivia and kill off that Absence Program and slow down production. But Mark is short of blue. He has to have a blue source to get that Prime Speaker into play.
So let's see what Gerald, how he wants to attack this turn. You know, you can see an attack here, maybe trading on Thragtusk, maybe sending the Huntmaster the Fells in to run that into Thragtusk, maybe clear up the board a little bit here. You know, there's always the thought of, you know, if my opponent has a Thragtusk over there and he's playing white, I'd like to get that thing out of the way.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's no Restoration Angel shenanigans that take place, but you're just going to see a Farseek here from Gerald. Going to search out a Stomping Ground.
I'm not a fan of that play. I think when you have a bunch of cards that you can still cast, but they're very difficult to cast 2 in the same turn, I just start playing them.
Okay.
Like, he wants to surprise the Olivia with one point of damage, but why not just play it? Hope to draw your lands. Next turn, you can ping and Farseek, and it's the same thing as, like, ping.
But you have that immediate threat on the board right away. Which, you know, I can definitely see an argument for making that play. You know, it's weird to just play that, you know, play Olivia and not be able to shoot with it, but you know what we see is just the Farseek there, and you see Thragtusk are going to try out from combat.
I'm back.
Now you are versus a Pokemon now.
Oh man, I can totally beat Pikachu.
And now we see Mark does draw a force for the turn, so he does not draw a second blue source for Prime Speaker Zagana, and he's tapping that very, very quickly here. And you are going to see Collective Blessing, a card that we'll bring up on the screen for you guys, making these things huge.
Something that tortured everyone in Return to Ravnica Limited.
Myself included.
Yes, I lost a PTQ to that card.
Never enjoyed being on the back end of Collective Blessing. It is just a one-of in Mark's deck, as you're going to see Olivia Voldaren. And again, Brad, we run into a game where Olivia, you know,
do anything.
It can't take over the way that you typically would see it take over against the Bant deck.
No. Well, Mark is running out of resources unless he draws a blue source. So I do think that this card has the potential of taking over this game with the Make a Vampire, Still a Vampire ability. You can't do it too many times because there is an Angel and Celestial Charm, so Mark should not be that concerned with that Olivia. Gerald's going to lean on it, and Mark's probably just going to make Gerald very sad.
So Collective Blessing, a card I did not think we were going to see today coming in the standard tournament. So worried about Junk Reanimator.
Have you ever commentated a single Star City Games Open without being surprised by some innovation?
Maybe my first one. Actually, I honestly think just my first one, because it was when we were deep into Delver on Delver Mirrors, and it was just literally every match that Joey Pasco and I covered, it was Delver versus X the entire day. Like we couldn't dodge Delver versus X. I think that was the only one.
Everyone's like, why are you putting Delver on? It's like, because it's in the first 25 matches.
Yeah, we don't have a choice.
Do you want to watch X3s? Is that what you want?
Yeah, we did not have a choice on what we could feature. Delver was just destroying the format.
All right, so did he not ping anything?
It looks like we saw one ping, as we see a die on the Restoration Angel.
Sure,
so looks like we saw one ping on Mark's end step, and so Olivia is ready to threaten to take that, and Gerald's just going to pass the turn here.
Blue source, blue source, blue source, he got there.
You have a breeding pool. Blue source called for by Brad. Blue source is what's found for Mark. The question, of course, is he going to play that, or is he going to play Angel Serenity and clean this board up? Because he has one of those too.
No gamble, no future. Let's just draw some cards.
Brad wants to take the Prime Speaker challenge. Here comes the Beast token from Mark.
So I think he just wants to get Gerald tapped down. Like, he can steal the Restoration and block it, and he loses. Like, I don't like this attack, because if you just steal that Restoration, you get a block with it, and then you Angel. I mean, yes, I agree that he is so ahead in the game, it's not going to matter.
As we are going to see a double block here.
All right, yeah, just so everyone at home, that Angel, or that Restoration Angel does not have 6 counters. He has 2 Vampire Bites, 2 Fang Bites.
And so now we're going to see the Ravager of the Fells bite the dust on the double block, left with a Brad Nelson Beast token. Nice claw you have on that token.
How is that enough? He blocked with Huntmaster. Oh, he blocked 7?
Yeah.
But that thing was 6. Why is there like less things? Why aren't there other things that are dead?
So the Beast token was a 6/6.
Yeah.
And the Ravager of the Fells is a 4/4, and the Beast token's a 3/3.
Never mind.
That's why I'm here.
Forgot. Yep.
I
Thank
do
you.
I do what I do. And now Angel Serenity is going to kill all of the things.
No, what's he targeting? I thought he tapped 3 guys and Thragtusk. So he's
we're going to see some shoots.
All right. So.
Okay, so now we've got it all cleared up here. Yeah, so he's going to leave him with the Beast token.
Why would he not take the... Oh, yeah, okay.
Because he wants, you know, in case the Angel Serenity dies, he will have...
No.
Thragtusk back.
Yeah, I'm just making sure, like, they left the Beast in play. Like, why would you not take the 3/3 over the 2/2?
Okay, so the Wolf token is in play. Got it. These
everyone just likes Kibler more than me.
It's really what it is. It's personal. It's a personal attack.
Yeah, that's just all it is.
To clear up the game state for you guys really quickly, you guys do see the red dies on the Angel Serenity and the Restoration Angel. As you see, Gerald's going to play Olivia. Those are the vampire shots from the previous Olivia. And then the Brian Kibler token is just a Beast token, or excuse me, a Wolf token from a Huntmaster of the Fells.
Yes. And the Prime Speaker Zana about to be cast is going to just be a 9/9. No, it's a 12/12.
It will be big and draw far too many cards.
Wait, how does it work? Because will it get the boost before it gets the counters?
Well, let's bring Prime Speaker up on the screen for you guys so we can take a
Yeah.
look at it. Because we're going to see an attack here with all of the doofuses. As that Avacyn's Pilgrim is not afraid when it's a 4/4. It would be afraid if it were a 1/1.
So it'll get all the counters. It'll get 8 counters. So yeah, it enters the battlefield with X +1 counters where X is greatest power among. So it's going to get 8 counters, but because of the Collective Blessing, it's going to draw a card for its original power and toughness. Oh, come on. Don't just kill him.
It looks like Celestia Charm is going to give Trample and +2/+2 here. And Brad's pleas of don't just kill him, Mark. I don't know if they're going to go unanswered, and they are not.
Aww.
Prime Speaker Zagana, I do not need you to win this game. I don't need 10 more cards. I've got plenty in my hand.
12.
It was
You got
12.
to draw 12 cards for 6 mana. That is 2 cards per 1 mana. And for stock mana, that's pretty good.
That's not bad for
That
stock
is
mana.
pretty good.
So Mark Nestico will win 2-0 over Gerald Orrison in what we feel is probably Prime Speaker Band's best matchup.
Yeah.
It does want to play against John. I don't
Even
think it wants
with
anything
clones
to do
too, so you can like legend out.
Olivia.
Yeah.
I don't think it wants anything to do with the Junk Reanimator deck,
No.
but if it doesn't play against it, using the old dodge theory that we talked about a little bit earlier, it can't have a good tournament. And so far, Mark Nestico's off to a nice one. Looks like he moves on to at least 4-1, potentially 5-0.
I'm gonna call 6-0.
6-0.